The combination of high-level mental skills and high-level physical skills is what makes an elite athlete. Yet, for most athletes, they only focus on the physical side of the game, but both are equally important if you want to reach your full potential. So what I'm going to do in this video is break down why mindset is so important for athletes, what it means to have a good mindset, and then a strategy that you can use to build a strong mindset for yourself. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, as a mental performance coach, I work a lot with athletes who are playing well in practice right now, but they're not really playing as well in games. They have high-level skills, with the proof being the way they're playing during practice. So what would we say is going on? Why can't they translate their practice skills into games? Why do they continue to underperform when the scoreboard gets turned on? Well, it all has to do with the mind-body connection in sports. Your mind and body need to be working together. They shouldn't be two forces working against one another. When that happens, that's where we see a disconnect in terms of the way that you play. You want your mind and your body to be working well together, but what exactly does that mean? Well, it means that you can't have your mind filled with fear and expect your body to perform with confidence. You can't have your mind full of anxious thoughts and then also expect your body to perform calm and steadily. Your mental state is going to directly influence your physical play. And so what we want to do is make sure that your mind-body connection is helping you instead of hurting you. And that's the thing, there's always going to be a connection. There's no avoiding it. It's just whether or not the connection right now is helpful or hurtful. Now, when I begin working with an athlete who is underperforming during games, their mind-body connection is typically going to be a hurtful one. Whether it's due to fear of failure, poor focus, self-doubt, performance anxiety, or really anything else, their mind is holding them back from performing their best during games. Understanding the importance of having a helpful and positive mind-body connection as an athlete, let's take a closer look at what happens when you have a negative mindset, and then what happens when you have a more positive mindset. Mindset is important for you to pay attention to because of just how terrible it is on your play to have a negative mindset. Now, when I say a negative mindset, this can honestly mean a lot of things. It may mean that you do have a bad attitude, but for the most part, it means that you are playing with fear, anxiety, self-doubt, perfectionism, maybe some poor focus, or really any other mental game challenge. Now, these mental game challenges present a serious challenge for you to actually perform well. Now, let's say that you're going into a game full of a lot of anxiety. This is not a good mindset for you to be in, because with sports performance anxiety, your mind is focused on what may or may not happen. And for the most part, you are worried about making mistakes or what's going to happen if you play poorly. But funny enough, it is this worry that leads you to underperforming. Because when you have anxiety, your body is going to respond to this anxiety by experiencing physical symptoms. These are going to include increased heart rate, maybe some shaky hands, and then maybe some blurred vision. But you're also going to actually play differently. You will hold yourself back and you're going to perform timidly since you are worried about, not wanting to mess up more than you're actually wanting to play well. An example of this is a squash player that I was working with who would black out during matches because of just how anxious she felt. That shows you how hurtful a bad mindset can be. Now, I do want to say that when I use the term bad mindset, I'm not saying that you're choosing to feel anxious or anything like that. Most of these mental game challenges happen automatically, and they were formed subconsciously. But the good news is, once you learn how to recognize and then manage the challenges and then take control of your mindset, having a good mindset does become something that you can choose. When you choose to have a good and strong mindset going into a game, no longer will you find that you're holding yourself back. That is the main benefit of building a better mindset. In the past, if you have experienced mental game challenges such as the fear of failure or anxiety, you've been getting in your own way. That's why things change when you get into games. There's more fear, there's more worry, there's more pressure, and so then you underperform. Instead of getting in your own way, having a good mindset allows you to elevate your physical skills, giving yourself the opportunity to have your talent shine through during competition instead of just shining through during practice. And this is truly an incredible thing for you to experience as an athlete. A young basketball player I've been working with recently honestly pieced everything together and had a great tournament. And, he's always been very skilled. He just was continuing to hold himself back during games. But finally, he performed more aggressively. He drove to the basket more, and he was taking more shots. What happened was he broke his own scoring record. What stood out to me, though, was honestly how happy he was when he was talking about this. Not just because the points that he scored, even though those were honestly exciting for him, but more so because of the way that he actually played. It was fun for him to play with less fear and to perform more naturally, the type of fun you can experience when you begin working on building a better mindset. Knowing why mindset is important for you as an athlete, the next step is to clearly define what it actually means for you to have this good mindset. But here's the thing. It's not exactly that straightforward. Yes, there are certain mental skills that are going to be fundamental to making up a strong mindset. But it's also going to be very personalized to you as to the exact way of thinking and mindset you have going into a game for you to perform your best. For example, no matter the athlete, confidence is going to be a key fundamental to a good mindset, because we know that if you're doubting yourself going into games, that's going to be a mindset that holds you back. This is going to lead to second-guessing your mechanics, second-guessing your decisions, and it's also going to lead you to playing too cautiously. Another example is having a calm mind, or put another way, having a clear mind. This is an interesting topic because at first, you may not think that you want to have a calm mind. In fact, you might think it's pretty counterproductive. Having a calm mind, you may think, means that you have a dull mind, let's say. But when I say a calm mind, I mean a clear mind, a mind that is still, absent of uncontrollable racing thoughts. When you're playing with performance anxiety, racing thoughts are going to be a key thing that you have to deal with. This makes it difficult to focus. But by having a calm and clear mind, you then get to choose what you want to focus on and also what kind of thoughts you're going to have as you perform. Now, the type of thoughts you have leading to how you feel is going to vary depending on you as the player. For some, a good mindset means that you are fully focused on yourself and you're focused on having fun. For other athletes I've worked with, their good mindset means that they are, honestly pissed off at the other team for some reason and they're focused on wanting to dominate them. Both are good mindsets because they are good for the individual athlete. And that is the main goal. A good mindset for you is the mindset that gives you the best chance of performing well. That means what you need to do first is figure out what that mindset actually looks like. Knowing why mindset is crucial for you to focus on as an athlete, it's time to build a strong mindset for yourself. And so what you want to do is you want to first define, what that mindset means. So the specific way of thinking and the state you're in when you play your best. Then you want to focus on using some mental training tools and techniques to make sure that you are building the general characteristics or the fundamentals that make up a good mindset. So what we're first going to do is identify your peak performance mindset. And this is honestly one of my favorite exercises to do with athletes because we get to examine their good performances. Because your good performances, they can teach you a lot about yourself, and especially in terms of your mindset. So what I want you to do right now is grab a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to follow along as I go through this exercise. By the end, what you're going to have is a clear idea of what your peak mindset is. So what you want to do first is list out your 3 to 5 best performances. They can be recently or they can be in the past. Now, as you write them down, think about what your mindset was like during that performance. So I want you to ask yourself, what was I thinking about? How did I feel when I was playing? What was I focused on? What was motivating me to compete? After you have all of them written out, look back over them, and I want you to see if you notice any similarities between the mindsets. Is there anything that really stands out to you? For instance, did you write down that for each one of the games, you were focused on yourself and you were enjoying yourself? Or did you write down that you were feeling confident or you were feeling really competitive going into that game? As you look back over the performances, see if you can come up with a single sentence that describes your mindset in the clearest way possible to you. And keep in mind, this mindset needs to make sense to you, not anybody else. Some examples of a peak performance mindset might include feeling relaxed and confident, angry and mad at the competition, focused on enjoying myself and having fun, staying present and fully focused on what I'm doing. The goal of this exercise is for you to gain a clear idea of your best mindset that you need to be in to compete. Because, it's no coincidence that there are similarities between the performances in terms of your mindset. It's the mindset that helps you play your best. So shouldn't your goal be to then get into that mindset on a consistent basis? Now that you have a better idea of what your best or your peak mindset is, you want to also make sure that you are building general mental skills that we know are going to strengthen your mindset over the long term. Now, there are a few foundational mental skills that you need as an athlete. And so what I'm going to do is briefly outline each one, and then I'm going to go over a way that you can begin training them. So the main mental skills that you need for a strong mindset are going to include self-confidence. So building that belief and trust in yourself that you can go out there and succeed. Because if you doubt yourself during games, you know that you are continually going to underperform. Another one is focus. The more focused you are, the better you will perform. If you keep your attention centered on what you're doing, you're not going to be as susceptible to distractions that you face during a game. Managing mistakes is another mental skill you want to work on, because if you're able to bounce back from mistakes and not allow mistakes to frustrate you so much during a game, it's going to be a key thing to your success, because you're going to be able to move on from mistakes and refocus going into the next play. And then you also want to learn how to calm your nerves, because it's natural for you to get nervous going into a game. But what you want to make sure of, though, is that you're able to calm your nerves so they do not turn into sports performance anxiety. And then the last foundational mental skill I want to talk about is motivation. Because when you have a clear idea of why you play your sport and why you're working so hard, it makes bouncing back from failures easier, and it also is going to push you through some tough times. And so what I've done in the description below is put links to videos that go into more detail on how you can work on building each one of these fundamentals. Now, working on all of these mental skills, along with applying the peak mindset that you identified in the exercise we went over earlier, is going to ensure that you have a good mindset going into games. And you know that the better your mindset, the greater your chances are of performing well. And so using everything that I've covered so far, you can begin taking steps towards building a stronger mindset as an athlete. However, if you are interested in a more personalized and in-depth approach to improving your mindset, then there are a few resources that I have available for you. First, there are 2 courses that I have available. One is Mental Training Advantage, and the other is the Mentally Tough Kid. Mental Training Advantage is perfect for athletes ages 14 and up, and the Mentally Tough Kid is perfect for athletes ages 9 to 13. And both of these courses are going to go into detail about how you can build stronger mental skills and develop a stronger mindset as an athlete. And then the other resource that I have is one-on-one mental performance coaching. This is a 12-week program where I will work directly with you via coaching sessions each week to help you build your strong mindset. Links to learn more about the courses along with one-on-one coaching are in the description below.